Hey guys, God bless. Welcome back to my channel. I am Charlene, and today I have a very short, simple, and sweet message for you, which you read the title, you read the thumbnail. Excuse me, sinuses, it's got me sounding a little weird, so I apologize about that. But I wanted to share something with you. A long time ago, I was at my mom's. I was about 14, 15-ish, I think. And me and my mom, we weren't really getting along. I felt like she was keeping me from greater things. And a lot of it wasn't necessarily her fault. And a lot of it I didn't quite comprehend until I had children of my own. But long story short, we had a heart-to-heart moment, like after we done fussed and everybody's crying and we're just trying to get it right. We had people praying for us, trying to keep the peace. And I never forget she said this. She said, "I love how you take care of your room. I love how you always make your bed. I don't have to tell you." And one of my issues with my mom was the fact that she never really praised me. I never received any type of recognition. And mind you, I was the oldest child. And I did a lot. I did a lot in terms of, having to grow up faster than what I should have. I took on a lot of responsibility. I was the helper. Like when it came to something that needed to be done, she came to me. And I felt like there was no recognition, no appreciation, no consideration. I felt like I was a slave. Like I often was like, I'm tired. Like in my mind, I kept telling myself, I'm tired of being Cinderella. I'm tired of being Cinderella. Like Cinderella role was getting old. Like I'm like, when do I get to the happily ever after? And I wasn't even talking in the aspect of like running off with a man or anything. It's just that I was tired of being poor, broke. I was tired of being shut in. I was tired of not experiencing life. I was just tired and frustrated. And like I said, on one of those days where we was trying to work out the kinks and stuff, like we was crying and stuff, and she said that to me, that she was happy that I made my bed. And I was thinking like, that's so random. But it was the first time that I can remember that she gave me a compliment. And it was like the little glimpse of hope to keep me moving forward. Like, okay, we can do this. We can get this right. Fast forward to today, I have that sense of accomplishment and compliment to myself. Like I'm proud of myself when I can get out of bed and I can make it. And of course that spewed into, like I said, adulthood, like college. Every day I made my bed. If my bed wasn't made, it was simply because I didn't get up on time. And even then, it must have meant that class started at 8 and I got up at 7:55, because even if I woke up late, as in 7:45, 7:30, I still would have put my cover on and fixed my pillow. Like I felt like coming to that space where it's clean and neat, it's love. Like I associate that with love, because that's in that moment, my mom, I felt love, like I felt seen, because before then I didn't feel seen. And fast forward to recently, my husband let me know, he said, "I just want you to know that I appreciate the fact that you make the bed, even though I'm going to get right back in it." Because y'all know he's on dialysis and stuff and he sleep most of the time. He was like, the made up bed brings him peace and it makes him happy. And it was another triggering moment for good. I'm like, when you get to a moment and you're like, is my work in vain? Am I doing enough? Am I doing the right thing? Like, why am I even here? Like, you often have those moments a lot when you get mixed up in being a wife and mom, and then you got to throw ministry in the loop. And I think the most appreciation overall, like as far as being spoken, has definitely come from YouTube. And I always look at that as a misfortune thing, because I'm like, you would think the people around me would, recognize good and say, hey, you're amazing. You're doing this right. And like I said, I'm not here to say that somebody should be praising you all the time, but you have to understand when you're traumatized by something or something that's lacking in a majority of your life, you start to feel like, why am I here? And although I never got to the point of saying, well, if I'm not valued here or why am I here, I should just leave, as in harming myself, I did get very low and depressed when it came to feeling like I was worthy or that I was seen. And of course, my faith helped me to grow and mature and say, you know what? God is the God who sees. So even though if I never got another praise, I never got another thank you for this or another I appreciate this, I know that God sees all that I do. And more importantly, he sees my heart behind what I do, because I want my family to have a clean home. I want my family to have warm meals. I want my family to be well clothed. I want my family to have fun. I want my family to feel love and to be seen. If that means me listening to some story from school that at my age, I'm like, oh, okay, but giving someone, your undivided attention speaks a lot. And I want to come back to, because of course, as a parent, you want to teach your children and train your children up in the way they should go. My daughter also wakes up just enough time earlier to make sure her bed gets fixed. And I told her, I said, God, girl, I love you, because every time I see it, I'm reminded of when my mom appreciated me in that moment. And I make it my business to let my children know I appreciate them often when they do good. And I also let them know that they're still mine and I love them even when they don't do the things the way that I want them to. And I give out hugs as often as I can too, and kisses like every night. I love you. Good night. Because I need you to understand that no matter what the day had just brought us through, my feeling for you still remains the same. But yeah, I want to bring this back to marriage. I want to talk about very briefly and short and simple and sweet. As wives, what do you do to show your husband you appreciate him? What do you do that he actually receives the gift or the time and effort you put into? Because this is another thing too. We could be doing something thinking, well, my husband will appreciate this and love this. And the whole time he'll never pay any attention. Now, this is not to say that that's all on you or all on him, because we as men and women, we read situations differently. But a lot of men, like for general, like you'll never go wrong feeding your man, because all men love through their stomach. Like even the most fit of fit, you get him a good piece of meal that's healthy. Because that's the thing too. You know what your man is driven towards. Like if he's a healthy lifestyle person, he will appreciate a healthy, well-prepared, thought-out meal. Like a meal that's not going to break his diet, a meal that's not going to make him gain weight. And the same thing for women. Like if you know your woman is trying to watch her figure, you find a spot that is safe to eat under her diet recommendations. Like putting thought and effort into these things really do matter. And like I said, for me, it was eye-opening, because I never knew he cared that I made the bed, because he's a bedhead. Like from even when he was working, he would get home and get in bed. So I'm thinking, it don't matter, and sometimes I did say it don't matter, he's just gonna mess it up anyway. But definitely now it's like, through that action, through him saying that, I'm like, okay, God, you see me, you see my heart, and you see my mind. And now I know that my husband sees me too in this act. And sometimes it could be the small things, y'all. Speaking to the women, it can be the most simplest things. Like one thing I remember reading that men love when they come home from work and their transition is made easy, meaning that they have a place to put their work stuff, and they have clean clothes to put on, and the food is already ready when they get home. Like working around that schedule definitely was hard for me, but I definitely tried my best to say, okay, he's about to be home, let me cook food, or let me make sure the food's hot and ready when he get home. Because there were some hit and misses. I was like, well, I'm just gonna cook it at 3. And then he gets home to cold food, and it's like, that's not, no, you wouldn't come home. You don't want to have cold food served to you or re-warm food, because we know it's nothing like food off the stove. But it could be something as simple as that. It could be something as checking on him midday. Like, hey, I know you're on lunch, but I just want to tell you I miss you and I love you and I hope you're having a good day. And of course, if the day isn't going so great, he can tell you if he wants to, of course. I think also respecting whether or not your man wants to be the talkative one or wants to be the listener or wants to be the chill one. Like, understand their character and their personality means a lot too. Because again, it could be the small things. Like, for me, there's moments where I want to be coddled with no obligation. Like, that speaks a lot to me. Because I want to feel safe and secure. Like, I know my safety is in God. I know this. But as my husband, I also want to be able to come in and say, hey, I'm here and I'm present and so are you. And that security. For you, it could be never ever parting with getting a hug or kiss. It could be you coming home and you saying that he actually mowed the lawn. He's like, he listened and he delivered. Like, I think men and women want that. They want that and feel that and need that for different reasons and under different circumstances, right? We all don't want the same things, but it is very important for you to listen to understand and not listen to be heard. So I challenge you today to do something, anything that you know your spouse is going to love and appreciate and notice. It could be something very, very teeny weeny or very moderately sized. Like, of course, I can say go out big, and unless, of course, you can. But I definitely encourage you to remember small things do matter. Serve your spouse and love them on today. I love you all. God bless. Take care. Bye.